Hi, Jeffrey. Many congratulations on being elected as a trustee for the next 2 years.
Oh, hello, Sue. Thank you so much. And I'm really looking forward to working with you and all the trustees. By the way, I noticed recently there's an article about some proposed changes to the way we govern ourselves in the planner this month. And I wonder if I could ask you a few questions about this.
Yeah, of course you can.
The first questions would be, so why we are making these changes to our constitution?
The RTPI is governed by its Royal Charter and associated bylaws, as you know. As a chartered institute, learned society and member organisation, we act for the benefit of our members and the public to promote the science and art of planning. The Institute therefore has a responsibility to ensure that the Board of Trustees, which is responsible for the organisation and management of the RTPI, is both effective and efficient. We're regulated by the Charity Commissioner, and we are obliged to review our governance arrangements from time to time. The corporate strategy, remember, has good governance as one of the foundations on which we can build and develop. The board therefore asked the National Council for Voluntary Organisations to undertake an independent effectiveness review in 2019. It made 60 recommendations on how the board could improve. Most of these concern the internal workings of the board and have already been implemented. However, the NCVO found that some of our governance structures are actually a barrier to effective working. After comprehensive consultation with all of our committees in the General Assembly, we have an agreed set of changes to the bylaws, which the RTPI members are being asked to approve.
Okay, I can see that one of the main proposed changes is to reduce the size of the Board of Trustees. So why is this?
Well, one of the barriers identified by the NCVO is the current size of the board. The Charity Governance Code recommends that the maximum size for an effective board is only 12 members, whereas our current board has between 15 to 17 members. So you can ask, why does that matter? A smaller board can support more streamlined, strategic and productive discussions, as well as being less intimidating to new members of the board. The current size of the board can also make it harder for all trustees to participate meaningfully in discussions. This can undermine collective decision making, and a smaller board is more likely to build transparent and closer relationships and make decisions in a more agile and responsive way. So following the consultations, the board is recommending that its size be reduced to a maximum of 13 trustees. This would be made up of 11 trustees who are members and 2 external trustees co-opted for their expertise.
Okay, so how and why will these constitutional changes reduce the barriers to entry?
The NCVO also identified that there are too many reserved seats on the board. The board considered this point and agreed to reduce the number of reserved seats to encourage wider participation and diversity. However, the board is not recommending that all the reserved seats be removed. For example, the Young Planners Trustee is being retained to ensure that the views of the early career members of the profession are properly heard, as they are the future of the profession and can also bring a different perspective to board discussions. You'll also notice, Jeffrey, that the trustees for the nations and regions and for Scotland are also being recommended for change to encourage greater participation in the RTPI by the devolved nations and Ireland. So apart from the young planner and the 2 co-opted trustees, all the other members of the board will still be chartered town planners. And indeed, the young planner could be also a chartered town planner. So overall, we feel a smaller board will be more attractive and inclusive, encouraging more members to stand for election.
Thank you, Sue. A question related to our General Assembly, we call it GA. So how can the GA become the think tank of the RTPI?
Well, the GA was not operating as it should under the current constitution. The GA is therefore refocusing its work so that it becomes the think tank for the RTPI, giving strategic member-led direction for the formulation of RTPI policy on planning matters, and will also be holding the board to account. These roles were originally envisaged when the GA was established in 2003, and will be working to make sure that the General Assembly operates more effectively. We'll also ensure that the workings of the board, all its committees, the General Assembly and the standing committees are more readily accessible and transparent to the members of the Institute by publishing the papers and the minutes for those who want to find out more about how the Institute works and the decisions that are being made.
Thank you, Sue. One final question. So as a member, how can I get more information about that constitutional change, and how can I participate in?
There's much more information on the website where you can find the NCVO report and its recommendations and the steps that the board has taken to address them. There are also a set of FAQs which give more detailed questions and answers. The article in the December issue of the Planner gives the links to more information. The ballot will be open from the 5th of January, so keep your eyes open for an email from my voice. And Jeffrey, most importantly, don't forget to vote.
Thanks for the reminder, Sue, and thank you so much for the time today. It's really nice to have this conversation with you.
It's been a pleasure, Jeffrey, and I look forward to seeing you at the GA on the 19th of January next year. Cheerio.
Thank you. Bye-bye.